Hi everybody, hi. I thought I'd come on a little bit earlier today to do the Tuesday live. I'm going to continue talking a little bit about burnout and especially burnout with equestrians. So last week we said burnout was to do with total mental, emotional, physical exhaustion. And it's a bit different from normal stress, if you like, because when you remove yourself from the situation, be it work or home life, the burnout feeling continues. Whereas very often with stress, if you remove yourself from the situation, so you maybe go on holiday, might take a few days, could even take a week, but you do start to feel better. So burnout almost needs something doing every day to get rid of it rather than a break. A break just doesn't suffice for it. So if you do go on a break, you might find that you can't relax, you still don't sleep very well, you don't feel in a great holiday mood. So we talked a little bit about the necessity for self-care, and very often people with burnout are people who are quite sensitive, empathetic people, and very often that coincides with people being what's known as introvert. And I mean introvert in a psychological sense, and that means the way in which you relax. So it's obviously a spectrum, but introverts relax by being on their own, or maybe being with one or a minimum of other people who they really like and trust. Whereas an extrovert, in psychological terms, is again how you relax best, how you recharge your batteries. An extrovert will be somebody that recharges best by going out and going down the pub and meeting a gang of friends or going to a party. So I'm probably talking a lot to the introverts who like to spend a bit of time on their own to relax. And, that's really important that an introvert gets that time on their own, because very often they may be working with other people, they have a home life with other people, quite possibly. And so going out for a meal or a family do or gathering of some kind becomes just almost like an addition to the working day. It's not totally relaxing to an introvert. So we talked really that I suggested going out for a 20-minute walk, so that you're on your own, you're refreshing yourself a little bit, you put it on the to-do list, you make sure you do it, and off you go. It's almost a non-negotiable, because an introvert really, really needs that time to relax. And without that time, an introvert can easily go into burnout. So what I wanted to do today was to just think about a few solutions to burnout, now that we've discussed what it is, how it feels, and we've explored a couple of things that we can do, and I want to just explore for a few moments what else we can do. Well, I've been mulling over this for some time, because it strikes me that there's a lot of professional equestrians who are in burnout, and we know that they are under financial pressures, they're under pressures of performance, so there's performance anxiety possibly. Not necessarily that they have confidence issues, but they have a huge desire to win or to do well. And obviously as well, there might be tied into that some perfectionism, striving for the perfect round and so on. So lots of pressures there. Lots of pressures with amateur and recreational riders, because they have home lives as well, and they have work lives. And riding becomes the one thing that they become reliant on to relax. It's something that they almost need to do to get away from everyday life. But if that riding was taken away from them, So for instance, it's been snowing here. We've also had some really stormy weather. So a lot of people won't be able to ride today, haven't been able to ride for a few days, you know, and that relaxation process has been taken away. It could be weather related, it could be the horse gets injured, it could be you get injured, you know, all these types of things prevent you from doing that thing that really releases you, your haven, your special place that you go to just unwind a little bit. And I've been wondering what I can do to help riders to get rid of some of these burnout issues, because you know, you don't really have to be necessarily in full burnout. You could be edging towards it, or you could be one of those people who kind of teeters on the edge and then withdraws, and teeters on the edge and withdraws. But you may also just have, like everybody has, masses and masses of stored up old emotions that haven't been resolved. So you put them on the back burner. Some people talk about putting them in a box and locking the box, or putting them in a safe and things like that. But they've not actually been dealt with. They're still there, and that they're still having an effect. Even if you don't think about them daily or weekly or monthly, if you haven't dealt with them and got rid of them, then they're still there, and they are still having ripple effects. So all of these things coupled together, the emotional, the mental kind of things that we need to deal with, has an impact on the amount of energy that we have. So quite naturally, if you're somebody that is going through something emotional, or you have mental health issues, or there is something, you know, that you is just playing on your mind, it saps you of that physical energy. And I think a lot of people ride in that kind of state. So that emotional baggage is dragging us down. And what we want is a way to restore the calm, restore the balance. Almost for some people, it's like finding yourself again. So we can get stuck in that way. We can get stuck in limiting beliefs. We really have these beliefs that we think are true, but other people would definitely say, you know, of course you can do that. Of course you're talented enough. Of course you can ride well. And these things hold us back because actually we do believe the more negative side of them. Might even feel that we're not good enough by whatever measure we're trying to measure ourselves by, or that we're not worthy enough, especially people that have a horse that is super duper in their eyes. They almost feel that they aren't good enough for their horse. So lots and lots of mental blocks as well. I can't do whatever it is, but probably your instructor or your friends would say you can do it. Of course you can do it. But there's a real block on it, just you can't get beyond it. It might also be wishing for something. Oh, I wish I could do that. But it's not a kind of practical wish because you're not doing anything towards it, because the implication is that you can't do it, which again is another type of block. So all of these limitations, these mental blocks, they all kind of clog up our minds as well. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, even if you're not thinking about it, it's all there, kind of clogging up the system. It is the emotional baggage and so on. So I want to tell you a little bit about what I've been thinking of as a solution for all of this, so that people get rid of this emotional and mental stress. And the old baggage, the old emotions, the old blocks, so that there is enough energy going around their system that isn't drained off by all the cogs whirring round in your head, but that can be spent on the physicality of riding. So, you know, when you get rid of these things, then you feel refreshed, you get back to being you, the you that's underneath all of these negative thought processes. You feel much lighter, you feel lifted up. And so, you know, all of that stuff that's been weighing you down, even though you might not be aware of it, it may be completely outside of your consciousness. It may be completely, you know, something that you're not aware of totally because you're not thinking about it consciously. But there it is, just, you know, just making the system run a bit slower, like a computer getting a bit kind of old and the memory kind of going. So thinking about how we ride when we are like that, when we haven't emptied ourselves of all this old stuff, think about how the horse feels, being a highly sensitive being, how they feel when they know that our heads are absolutely jam-packed full. So wouldn't it be best to get rid of all of that stuff? So what I think we could do is, rather than, you know, a prolonged set of sessions or some kind of prolonged webinar series or online course or something like that, I know that there are techniques that could get rid of this stuff in one single day. And that's what I'm thinking about right now, because I know that you could get rid of all of these things, the emotional baggage, the limiting beliefs. You can re-establish the balance quite quickly because the unconscious mind works really, really quickly. And so what I'll be offering are days for equestrians to be able to offload, delete, eliminate all of these things so that they can get on with their riding and ride in a much more focused way, with far more mental, emotional and physical energy. So it could be a one-to-one session, it could be via Skype if you're distant to me, or it could be face-to-face. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit cheaper, then we could have small groups of say 2 to 4 people, a little bit easier on the pocket per person. If you're interested in these breakout of burnout days or breakthrough days, however you want to name them, I'd love to hear from you. So PM me or put a comment in the comment boxes. I'm in the planning process, so if there's something that you particularly want, or you know you have a special request for what could be included in these types of days, then maybe they could get incorporated too. So there's no harm in inquiring, so send me a PM, send me a comment, and it may just be the difference that makes the difference to your riding. Take care for now, and I will see you again very soon on another live. Bye for now. Bye.